Some people may say I'm biased here, primarily because obviously I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Hell, I even have the Playmakers signed jersey right next to my room in my apartment. But I think we could all agree that this is way too far. This is way too much. And accusations like this quite literally just sabotage this man's opportunity to cover the Super Bowl. So I'm going to give you guys the whole story. It's really messed up. Before we get to the content, I highly recommend you go follow me on Instagram. PrizePicks is coming out with brand new promos every 2.5 hours for the Super Bowl. I'm going to be making a lot of picks and posting them onto my Instagram story. And now that we get all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Michael Irvin is one of the most iconic players in NFL history. Most definitely one of the most iconic players in Dallas Cowboys history, and you could even make a very legitimate argument that he is the greatest wide receiver in Dallas Cowboys history. And honestly, I feel like that'd be a fun debate to have in the comment section. So if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comment section who's the greatest wide receiver in Cowboys history. But on top of that, Michael Irvin is one of the select few individuals that successfully leveraged his status as a superstar in the NFL and a remarkable personality in the NFL to a very exciting, energetic,
where the Cowboys will rightfully regain and take their proper spot among kings. Do you hear me? Regain and take their proper spot among the kings.
Maybe a little too energetic, sports analyst and commentator. He currently is a regular on ESPN's First Take, but he also does work for the NFL Network. He has that beautiful combination of having tremendous success in the NFL, playing for the most popular franchise in the NFL. Whether you love to hate him or you just love to love him, you have to admit the Dallas Cowboys are the most popular franchise in the NFL. Not necessarily the best, but the most popular for sure. And the fact that he's incredibly entertaining just makes for a sweet combination for any analyst, and that's why multiple networks employ him. He's on First Take, he's on NFL Network, and as a result, he had the opportunity to cover the Super Bowl. This is something that Michael Irvin does a lot, by the way. I mean, at this point, we're used to seeing Michael Irvin on TV. We're used to cracking jokes about how energetic he is, and hell, I even have a very interesting story about a wild incident in the midst of his career if you guys want to go check it out. Now, unfortunately, this is where the story takes a very dark turn. It's a very cautionary tale that I don't even know how men could really learn from this, to be honest. It's just a really sad story where a human being is either looking for a money grab or just wants to sabotage another human being, at least from our perception of things. So here's how this starts. Michael Irvin was accused of misconduct by a Renaissance Hotel employee in Phoenix, Arizona. As a result, the NFL Network and ESPN completely removed Michael Irvin from all Super Bowl coverage, where he makes routine guest appearances. Now, this is where it gets a little messed up. We have video footage of what went down between Michael Irvin and this one woman, which we're going to show you.
Cheated us. We come out the truth. You don't want to fuck up our kids. They don't fuck up. I got all of this.
Bro, there is actual footage of Michael Irvin just talking to this human being for a brief period of time. Granted, this video is 30 seconds, but we have multiple witnesses that state that this interaction went down for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. And that Michael Irvin was actually a really chill guy to hang out with, by the way. Here's what the man had to say about the whole interaction.
We just came back in from the lobby after taking like a group picture. So I was there with a few of my friends. We had a really positive interaction with Michael. So I saw Michael, he was heading towards the lifts, and then he gets called back by a young lady just to say hello. It was a very it was a positive, like friendly conversation. They had a brief interaction. It was 30-40 seconds. He kept his distance at all time. It stood about a meter away from her. They ended it with a handshake, and he literally turned around and went back to the lift.
We walked back to go into the bar. He went straight to go to his hotel room, And I guess somebody that worked there, I don't know if it was a waitress or a bartender, came up and said, "Oh, hey, it's Michael Irvin." And he said, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. I'm Michael," shook her hand. And the crazy part is it was like a 30-second interaction. Maybe it could have been a minute. Guys, I didn't really think much of it because it was just fans kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I woke up, that ended. He went up to his hotel.
So Michael Irvin, as a result of this woman falsely accusing him, at least it seems like it's a false accusation from our perception of things, unless if there was another interaction between these two. As a result of this, Michael Irvin is no longer part of the Super Bowl coverage, but it appears as though this isn't Michael Irvin's first rodeo. As a matter of fact, he's been accused of something like this before. Check this out.
Through the investigation process, we've determined conclusively that the allegations are not true and that a sexual assault did not take place. Additionally, we have determined that Michael Irvin was not present at any time during this incident. The original complaint will be unfounded and no charges will be forwarded for court action.
Hey, are y'all rerunning it? Are you rewriting it and reprinting it like I asked you to? With the same intensity that you did. The same intensity. Don't lose the intensity. Don't lose the intensity.
Attorneys for Irvin and Williams said the players will have to decide whether to pursue a civil case against the woman who falsely accused them. Meanwhile, prosecutors in Dallas have the option of charging her for filing a false report.
So he wasn't going to stand pat and stand down in this particular instance when someone soils his good name without really any evidence to back it up. So Michael Irvin filed a $100 million defamation lawsuit against Marriott and the staffer who accused him of misconduct. Honestly, good for you, Michael Irvin. I mean, we just covered another situation like this that honestly, the lawsuit just seems bizarre because there's empirical data of the human being allegedly doing what he was accused of. And in this instance, there is very good evidence of Michael Irvin not doing what he was accused of. I mean, it seemed like these individuals just had a handshake and moved on after a brief 1-minute conversation. In this lawsuit, Michael Irvin accuses Marriott of trying to have him canceled. Irvin seeks damages for defamation and wrongfully interfering with a business relationship. Irvin denied any wrongdoing in the interaction and told the news on Wednesday that he's baffled by the accusation. Irvin's accuser has not been identified and goes by Jane Doe in the lawsuit filed by Irvin on Thursday. The nature of the allegation is unclear. Phoenix police told the news on Wednesday that there has been no criminal complaint filed against Irvin. Irvin's lawsuit lists witnesses who support his claim that no wrongdoing took place during an interaction with his accuser. Irvin told the news that a conversation with his accuser took 45 seconds and included a handshake. 3 of Irvin's witnesses spoke with the news. Marriott has not publicly addressed the lawsuit, and a spokesperson didn't reply to a request for a comment from the news Friday morning. Plaintiffs' representatives have reached out to the hotel and even met in person to obtain clarity about the situation and provide witnesses and resolve this matter before the plaintiff's reputation could be damaged any further, but to no avail. Here's the thing that really sucks about this, and there's a lot more. It gets even crazier. No matter what happens in this situation, whether Michael Irvin wins the lawsuit or not, whether it is proven that the woman that is accusing him of this stuff is being truthful or not, no matter what happens to Michael Irvin, at the end of the day, the way our society works is people are going to say, "Oh, Michael Irvin, isn't he that guy that got accused of misconduct that one time? Clearly is a horrible human being." That's the way our society is. People aren't going to do digging into this situation in the future. It's an unfortunate reality of today's world. No matter what, this incident ruins Michael Irvin's name. Now, it gets even crazier because per the news's account of the lawsuit, Irvin states that he was shockingly woken up by a crew of security from his hotel room and removed from the property without any explanation or questions. Per the lawsuit, Irvin has been banned from all Marriott properties. Holy crap. Oh my God. Could you just imagine just sleeping in your hotel and then having a bunch of security come in and remove you from the Marriott hotel and say you're banned from every single Marriott hotel from here on out? That's a gigantic inconvenience to place on a human being that travels that much. Marriott is a very big name in the hotel game. Ideally, you're not banned from each and every Marriott hotel from here on out. Now, a hotel manager then contacted the NFL and informed the league that Irvin had been accused of improper behavior, according to the lawsuit. An NFL Network spokesman told the news on Wednesday that Irvin will not be part of the NFL Network's Super Bowl week coverage. Irvin was subsequently removed from a scheduled Friday morning appearance on ESPN's First Take, where he is a regular guest. 3 witnesses named Bryn Davis, Joe Manoli, and Phil Watkins told the news that they saw Irvin Sunday in the Marriott's lounge speaking with fans. The men are business associates and aren't Cowboys fans, according according to the news. The men told the news that they offered to buy Irvin a drink, then took a photo with him outside the hotel. After returning to the lobby, the men say they saw the female staffer approach Irvin for a conversation. This is absolutely insane. So the woman goes up to Irvin, and then they have a brief like 1 minute conversation, and then all of a sudden Irvin's entire week is ruined. Irvin is gonna have a huge inconvenience on his life as well. There wasn't a criminal report filed or anything. It's just bam, that's it. You are off the NFL Network. You are off First Take for this week just because some woman accused you of doing something. And we're not even gonna dig into it to see whether it's right or wrong. We're gonna just see how this plays out and deal with it in the future. Man, this is horrible. I mean, this is truly horrible. And to be honest, man, Michael Irvin, I don't really know the guy in real life. I don't know if he has a dark side to him. And so far, his reputation doesn't necessarily seem to fall into this pattern, but I don't know. I mean, maybe was there a situation where him and this woman met an additional time? I don't know. I mean, there's cameras everywhere in the Marriott, so you would think that they'd be able to see the security footage and say, hey, Michael Irvin and this hotel employee just met once. It was a 45-second situation. That was it. And then maybe if it's a situation where you could follow Michael Irvin with the security camera footage of him meeting this woman, then going up to his room, and then the door being closed, and that's it. I mean, then you could potentially prove his innocence. And hopefully this woman gets fired if she is falsely accusing Michael Irvin of this stuff. At the end of the day, man, I feel really bad for athletes because Michael Irvin clearly seemed to have been just chilling downstairs, hanging out with some human beings that really enjoyed his company and really enjoyed his presence. A lot of Hall of Fame football players don't necessarily do that, especially individuals that are on TV routinely. I mean, I tell this story a lot. I bumped into Shannon Sharp a couple times in the gym. I asked him for a picture. He pretty much told me to fuck off. And after seeing the recent video of him getting filmed as he's picking up a puppy, I don't necessarily blame him for acting that way, but it's incidents like this with big names in our industry that causes these individuals that would routinely and normally be nice guys to being really jaded and ruthless to their fans. And it really just bums me out because I don't think Michael Irvin seems like the type of human that would deserve this, but again, I don't know him personally, and there's no evidence that suggests otherwise except the word of a woman that's accusing him. So let me know in the comment section down below. I know this is probably a more controversial video, but the story is insane because he's being punished this much without there being any evidence of him doing what he's accused of. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.